Hey guys, welcome to Mr. Technical. I'm your host, Thabit Manuel, and thought I'd take a little break today from doing automotive related topics to something that's a little bit more near and dear to me as an individual. So, for those of you who don't know, I'm from Cape Town, and things are really tough, in Cape Town. It's tough for a lot of people, I know. A lot of us out there that have lost everything and basically trying to find alternate means of income, because we have families to support, we have things that we need to do, dreams that we would also like to achieve. And, I will say, I spent a lot of my time trying to build wealth, but not necessarily doing it in the best of ways, you know. Not saying that I would steal or do anything of that nature. That's just not, it's not who I am. I'm not wired that way. I wouldn't take something that is not mine. Doesn't matter how bad my situation is. And I thought I'd make this video for, anyone and everyone out there that is going through hard times and finding it difficult, you know. You're finding yourself laying in bed all day, flipping through TikTok videos and YouTube channels, just completely lost and not knowing what it is that you're going to do. Just know that you're not alone. It's normal, to feel defeated, to feel like you're not worth anything because of the way that the economy is right now and, the challenges that everybody's facing. But that being said, I would like to share with you the one thing that has really helped me in my time of need. You know, um, there was a moment when honestly I thought I would be on the street and would have nowhere to go. And I started praying, so to my Muslim brothers and sisters, salam. To the non Muslim viewers, good afternoon, because it is afternoon where I am right now. I'm currently experiencing another bout of load shedding, as I'm sure we all, I mean, been wondering when is it ever going to end, you know. Load shedding in Cape Town has basically become a norm of everyday life. We just kind of make the most of it and try and kind of restructure our lives around it. I will say that due to the amount of load shedding that we've been having in Cape Town, it's made it difficult for a lot of businesses, small to medium, that have closed down due to them not being able to maintain output, because, well, when you have no power, you can't really do anything. And for all those that have lost everything, my prayers go out to you. I pray that Allah helps you, makes it easy for you, as He has for me. Um, because honestly, I can tell you miracles do happen. They do. As I said before, I found myself in a position where I thought I would be homeless and living on the street. Unable to make content, unable to support myself, unable to do anything, really. And first and foremost, you know, I, like I said, I started making salah, I started praying, I started asking Allah or God for His help, in my time of need. And I can honestly tell you that when you pray with conviction, you mean what you say, it really does help. He opens doors, you know. And for a lot of us out there, that is all that we're really asking for, is for a door to be open, to be given an opportunity, where we can work hard and achieve the things that we want to achieve. So Man, I don't know what the government says is the unemployment stats at the moment, but man, being on the ground, speaking to people, I can tell you that it's well over 50%. Every household, if both parents were working, one isn't, so it's tough. And with the way that the modern world wants to be, or modern society, there's no room for men to speak about their mental health issues or to seek guidance or help. As men, we're just expected to know what it is that we need to do and somehow just know how to do it. Um, but now, if there's one thing that I've learned in researching more about my faith, Islam, is that we don't know everything. When we are born, we are naked. Someone has to clothe you, someone has to provide for you, someone has to look after you, to clean you, bathe you, and we tend to lose sight of that as as we grow up, that at some points in our lives we will be down and we won't know what to do, and that's okay, as long as when you're in that situation you continue to seek guidance. Keep asking for help, but be careful of who you ask for help. And when help is given, you still need to use logical sense, to determine whether that help is being given or if it comes with, strings attached. And in a lot of cases nowadays, you find that when people help you, it's because they're expecting something from you in return. They're not just helping because they want to help. I look back at, old movies, like times of when Sherlock Holmes, just for lack of a better, um, I don't know, just so to be able to paint a picture. But if we look back to Victorian times and you look at how women dressed, it wasn't provocative. They were covered. They were still beautiful, yes. But there wasn't a need, to have tight-fitting clothes that showed off everything you had and left nothing to the imagination. And there was a reason for that, you know. I mean, these days we talk about women's rights and the right to wear what you want, to do what you want, be with who you want. But at the end of the day, the life that we live now is so far removed from faith that we tend to lose ourselves, in the modern age. We forget that one day we will pass away. We forget that all the wealth we accrue in this world means absolutely nothing when you're 6 feet under and your body has become food for the grass, you know? And so it's losing everything, my marriage included. It's made me realize that I was living life the wrong way, you know, and that I needed to find my way back to Allah, back to the Lord. And since starting that journey, I can tell you that it's not been easy. By no means am I going to sit here and try and paint a rosy picture and tell you that, you know what, you're going to pray today and tomorrow all your worries are going to be gone, because that is just an outright lie. And anyone that tells you that, don't believe them, because we are put on this earth to be tested, and it's through those tests, trials, tribulations, hardships that we grow as individuals, and we find a reason for why we are here. Because first and foremost, we were created by our Lord, by Allah, created to serve, and not serve man, but to serve Him. We live in a time where wars are being raged for no reason. You look at Russia and the Ukraine, and there's no logical reason why that war began or what it is for. Is it for resources? Is it for, we don't know why. And what worries me the most is that I'm in Cape Town, and as far as the international community is concerned, Cape Town is becoming one of those places where people think twice before they visit, and you have to ask yourself why. Our military is busy training alongside the Chinese and the Russian military at the moment. And at the end of the day, what does that say to the rest of the world? That we're siding with them. The rest of the world is up in arms against Russia and China right now. So by extension, they're not going to take too kindly to Cape Townians either. I wonder if in 10, 15 years from now, will any other country out there accept a South African immigrant? Because we are being seen as, being partners to people that are doing wrong things. At the end of the day, we have been put down as a people for so long that we've just become accepting, of the status quo, and we just say it is what it is. But it shouldn't be that way. We were all given minds, we were all given the ability to think for ourselves. And in many ways, I'm not a fan of politics. I never have been, and I probably never will be, because politics only serves the interest of the few, not the many. Whereas if we look to our faith, we look to Islam, it teaches us to do for your fellow man whatever you can, to help those that are unable to help themselves, to give charity to those that are in need. And yet, despite that, we live in a society today where that's not the case. We don't give to people because we can. We don't give to people because we want to. We give to people because we expect them to give us something back in return. And that's never been my MO. I've never operated like that. Maybe that is why I failed as a business person, because I'll be honest and I'll say that I enjoy fixing cars. You know, my channel started with automotive diagnostic and applications and so forth, and will continue to do, as um, my situation improves, and once I'm able to be mobile, I'll take the channel further and, start visiting companies within Cape Town that specialize in different automotive technologies, showcasing what it is that we can do and getting the word out there so that our people know that locally we have everything needed, that there isn't really a need for international orders, to be placed for components or items. So that will be in the future, and I firmly believe that, if it's Allah's will for me to continue that journey, then I will gladly do so, because I know it will help a lot of people out there that are struggling, with their cars. And the one thing that I do want to be able to do is, once I'm at a point where I can provide for myself, first and foremost, is then to take, whatever profits I make, whatever I make from the YouTube channel, whatever little it is, whether it is that I buy bread and take it to people who need it, whether it's, cooking food and serving communities where they don't have, ideally what I would love to do is to partner up with different companies, where we go out to dump sites, find what people would perceive as junk or trash, and convert them into vertical grow farms, convert it into things that can sustain people. I have so many ideas that I know would go a long way to helping many people. But before I can help anyone else, I need to be able to help myself. So my journey right now is to get closer to Allah. It is to continue the fight that I have going on right now, which, I pray to Him that before the end of this year that that major hurdle in my way is taken out of my path, and I'll be able to then start working again, start, um, giving back and helping those that I know need help. Ultimately, this life is just a moment, you know. We are given our time on earth, and man, we know our date of birth because it is every mother's, um, it's the blessing on the mother when she gives birth to know the day that that child was born. And by extension, it is told to the child so the child knows when they were born. But as for the day that we leave this earth, only Allah knows. Only the Lord knows when that day is. And He puts signs, and things in your path to make you realize that um, this life is only a moment. It's something my dad used to say. And he's not with me anymore. Allah has called him home. And the biggest takeaway that I took from my dad's passing was the day that he passed on. You might forget the date, but you'll never forget the day. Because on that day, that was the day of Laylatul Qadr, or as it's also known as Night of Ascension, when our Prophet was, visited and was shown all the levels of both heaven and hell, and he returned to his bed before the sheets had gone cold. Now, can you imagine for yourself what what does that actually mean? You were taken from your bed, which means that your bed is still warm from your body heat. You are taken on a journey. You are shown so many things, and then return to your bed before that bed has even gone cold. So it's difficult sometimes to wrap our heads around it because we like to think in terms of quantum mechanics and how time works and it's linear, but I mean it really isn't. I mean, one of the greatest paradoxes that science faces today is faster than light speed, because when you're moving at light speed, time technically slows down. So I mean, isn't that cause already to prove to you that there's someone above? We have a creator whose plan is above all our plans. He's granted man many, many blessings. He's given us resources. He's given us the ability to think, to seek knowledge, to harness knowledge, and then apply that knowledge to make our lives better. You look at the modern world and all of the technology that goes into it, buildings taller than ever thought possible, and machines capable of not only listening to you, but picking up on subtle nuances in language that sometimes we as people struggle with. And yet, despite all of these advancements, the world is more in disrepair now than it's ever been. And what I mean when I say that is the rich get richer, the poor get poorer, and there's no in between. Those who have do not want to give because they fear they would lose everything. And I'll tell you now, the one lesson that I've learned is when you give or surrender your power or your what you perceive to be your power to control things, and you give that to Allah, He shows you that His plan is above all plans, and when He lifts you, no man will put you down. No one on this earth can put you down when Allah is busy lifting you up. I have done a lot for a lot of people. I've helped those, that were in need when I could. And it was a difficult thing, that in my time of need, to find that I didn't have as many people as I thought I did. But this is Allah's plan, because it's humbled me. It's made me realize that the way that I was living wasn't right. Where I would speak about, something I did for someone to someone else, that was wrong with me. In many ways, we all want recognition for the good that we do. But remember, Allah knows what you do. And His recognition is the only recognition you need. So if someone that you've done something for doesn't say thank you, be satisfied. When you speak to Allah or you're speaking to the Lord, ask that He grants the person who didn't say thank you to you even more. Because that is what it is to be humble. We don't get jealous of other people and what they have. We should say, Alhamdulillah, shukr to Allah that He has granted them that, and we ask that He grants us the same in return. That is it. So I know this video has been all over the place, and I felt that I needed to do this. I've been told by many people that I've inspired them to change their lives. And I never knew this before. And that's, in many ways, it was an eye-opener for me. It made me realize that I have the ability to speak to people, to really connect. And so what am I going to use that for? Am I going to use it to belittle and slander people? Or am I going to use it to uplift people? And I'll tell you, I would rather uplift people. I would rather help someone, than to backbite somebody for a bit of money. As I sit here and I record this video, just know that my life is far from perfect. It's far from easy. But you know what does make it easy every day? Is that I'm able to go down on my hands and knees and able to touch my forehead to the floor in subjugation of Allah. And since I've been doing that, because I have not been performing my salah for a long time, and I'll tell you, people, without a doubt, once I started doing that, things changed. They really did. I found myself less angry, less prone to emotional reactions or outbursts. And I find myself thinking more. So you see, the way I see it is basically two ways to handle a situation. The one is to react, where it's purely emotional and you basically just, that person upset you, so you retaliate with anger. And the other way is to respond to the situation. And what I've found is that when we respond to a situation, it means we've had time to think about the situation, to weigh out the pros and cons, and to really think about, is this going to be a good thing or not? And so when you're able to do that, you find that the words you use are more compassionate, kinder, you're not just screaming and shouting at the person, but you're really trying to communicate, because through communication, we gain understanding. And through understanding, we find that compromise is, attainable. And that is all that we need, really. To be able to speak to one another, to understand one another, and then to compromise with one another. So I do not like making commitments, you know. It's just something that I'm not a big fan of, but I would like to start making more videos like this, just talking about life, talking about things that I have seen, things that I have gone through that has changed me, from the person that I was to hopefully the person that I'm meant to be. So, shukran to my Muslim viewers, brothers and sisters. Shukran for your time, for listening to me. As I said, this video has been all over the place, but for those that are going through it, you guys will understand. And just know that Allah puts this in our path as a test. So we can either choose to, ask, why is it me? Or we can choose to do the right thing, which is say shukr. Shukr, Ya Allah, for putting trials and tribulations in my path, for taking away from me everything that you have given me, so that I may learn that I don't need as much as I thought I did. That in order to be happy, I don't need to have a 10 million rand house or have 5 cars. Take it from me, because I've been there. I've had the cars. I've had, I was able to show that I had money. And that was one of my biggest downfalls. But the one thing I will say that I am proud of myself for is never saying no to someone that was in need when I knew that I could help them. So, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, if there's someone that you can help that person. I thought I would be homeless, and a cousin reached out to me that I haven't spoken to probably since I was 10 or 11, and who I probably last saw at my dad's janaza. And not only did he open up his home to me and give me a place to stay, he knows that I'm not able to support myself right now, and he's not asking me for a cent. Now, if that is not Allah's will at work, then I don't know what is. Which is why I wake up every day looking forward to the day, waiting for the time that the salah comes, because I can't wait to make my next salah. And for those of you who really know me, you guys would be shocked. I know you're going to be shocked, because none of you would ever suspect that me, of all people, would speak or would be having this kind of talk. But that just goes to show the power of Allah, when He opens your eyes and He shows you there's beauty all around us. But first and foremost, we need to do what is right. And that is praying. That is putting Allah first. Asking Him to guide us through every challenge, every test, every trial, every tribulation that comes along. And when we do so, He makes it easier. Really, He does make it easy for us. When you're going through hardship, you don't necessarily see it until you're out of the hardship, that you realize the lesson, that was being taught to you. So, as I said, I'll be doing a few videos of this nature, as well as getting back to automotive, as time goes on, because I find that because I'm not able to edit as I would like, it makes it difficult, to teach automotive. I will say this though, that if any of you are genuinely interested in learning about automotive, but you kind of want to do it the YouTube way, I'll leave a link down in the description to a channel. It's called Rain Man Ray. And look guys, this man is amazing. Allah has gifted him to be a teacher. because his videos makes it easy for people to understand complicated things. And that skill, that he has, that is, it's God given, you know. So inshallah, to all of my Muslim viewers, assalamu alaikum. I wish you guys all the best. To all of my non-Muslim viewers, may the Lord bless you and grant you all your heart's desires. And for all those that are interested, do the research, look into Islam. I mean, if Andrew Tate of all people, you know, preaches the word of Allah and talks about the Quran, then there's hope for anyone, really. So inshallah, people, all the best. Take care. And this is Thabit Manuel signing off for Mr. Technical. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe on the video. And don't forget to click the bell icon, so that you get notifications on when the next video is being released. And inshallah, all the best. Bye bye.